Hello there. Have you heard about remarketing campaigns and are a bit confused about those? The good news is that's the topic of this video. Welcome to the 15th video of Google Ads series. In this video, we are going to discuss how to set up, when to set up, who should use remarketing campaigns, what are the important considerations, and finally, how to set up these campaigns in Google Ads. Now, before we jump into remarketing, you might have to get familiar with some terms. Now, suppose the eToro search campaign we are running, we received 100 clicks on that campaign, which means that roughly 100 people will click on this ad and land on our landing page. Now, we would definitely want all of them to sign up, but that never happens. As per the stats, roughly 5 people will sign up and 95 people of these users who clicked on the ads will not sign up. Now, these 5 people who signed up are the conversions for our campaign, and the conversion rate would be 5 divided by 100. So in this case, the conversion rate would be 5%. Now, to give you a perspective, overall on Google Ads in 2021, it's reported that on an average, the campaigns received 2 to 5% conversion rate, depending on a lot of factors like who was the advertiser, what industry was the advertiser from, what were they selling. Now, if you pay attention, these 95% or 95 users who clicked on the ad and did not convert on the page, they actually had intent to buy our product or a service before clicking on the ad. That's why they clicked in the first place. Now, that being said, don't you think that whenever we have display and video campaigns running, what we primarily do is we target people based on in-market audiences, based on affinity audiences and whatever. So what we primarily are doing is we are targeting these people with our ads, thinking that they might be interested in our ads. And some of them are and some of them aren't. But these 95% people who already have intent, don't you think before we run the prospecting campaigns targeting wider audience, we should focus on these 95% users as well, because they already have higher intent than what we are prospecting in other campaigns. So that's where remarketing campaigns come in picture. Remarketing campaigns are those campaigns where we target to only people who have already visited our website. And as per the stats and my personal experience as well, remarketing campaigns have a much higher conversion rates than our regular prospecting campaigns. Now, basically what happens is when a user clicks on our ad, they land on our website and they leave without converting, they go on to other websites. We retarget them with our remarketing campaigns while they are on other websites and apps, so that they can click on our ad again and come back to our website and convert. Now, before we go ahead and I show you how to set up remarketing campaigns, there are certain questions which people generally, when they are introduced to remarketing campaigns, they ask. The first one is, why do remarketing campaigns work? Why do they have higher conversion rates? I already explained this because they already had intent in the first place. That's why they clicked on our ads before. That's why they visited our website. Now, this leads us to our second question, which is, if they did not convert in their first visit to our website, why do we think that they will convert on their second or third visit through remarketing campaigns? Now, there are a lot of reasons. If you think about your personal experience as well, there are a lot of reasons why somebody would click on an ad and not convert. One of the reasons can be maybe they were in a rush. Maybe they liked our product, they went to our website, which is, let's say, an e-commerce website, but they were in a metro or they were traveling or they were doing something else and they thought, okay, you know what, I'll buy this later. Now, maybe some of the users later forget. So remarketing campaigns help in that way to remind them later that, okay, you know what, you were checking this product, you might be still interested. And a lot of times users, when they are exposed to ads again, at that moment of time, they are not in a rush and they go ahead and buy products. As simple as that. And there can be other reasons as well. Maybe once they checked our product, they were like, okay, we want to buy this product, but let me research a bit more, maybe to explore other options. But later they forget about our product while they were exploring other options. It might be a good way to remind them about the product in the first place, because when users are in their buying journey, they check so many products generally and they forget like some of the products. So remarketing campaigns will help in that case as well. It can range from maybe they wanted somebody else's opinion as well. I checked a product, or let's say a real estate project. I shared it with my friend to ask him, what do you think about this project? Later it falls into cracks and they kind of forget about it sometimes. And in those scenarios, it can help as well. Sometimes the users are not generally in a mood to buy. Let's say I checked a holiday package, I clicked on it, I went and there were a lot of details. I was like, okay, I don't want to check all these details. But later when we retarget them with our campaigns, at that point probably they are interested, they have a bit of time and they check it and they book it. For e-commerce websites, it's even more beneficial because a lot of times people just leave their products in the cart and do not buy and think about, okay, I'll buy it later. Now, remarketing campaigns helps them to kind of remind those users that you have some products in the cart. But there are instances when user probably clicked on the ad, they went to the website, they didn't like the reviews, they didn't like the project at all, they thought something else. On the landing page, they came to know that, okay, this is not something I'm looking for. There will be those kind of audiences as well. But overall, when you look at like the overall remarketing campaigns, they will generate results for you. They will improve your conversion rates from your prospecting campaigns. Now, generally, throughout the industry experts believe in this, and I firmly believe in this as well, that every search campaign should have a 10% to 20% of budget allocated for remarketing campaigns. For example, if you have $100,000 in a month to spend on a search campaign, you should always allocate $80,000 to $90,000 for the search campaign, and out of this keep $10,000 to $20,000 budget for remarketing campaigns supporting this search campaign. Now, when you will compare your results, for example, with only allocating this budget to search campaign and allocating with remarketing, overall with these $100,000, you will always have better results. But there are other things you need to consider before you jump into setting up remarketing campaigns. So generally, your remarketing strategy should have that what type of content you will use specifically for only remarketing campaigns. More details on this in a bit when we are setting the remarketing campaigns. I'll just show you some examples as well. But the other consideration is that you can only run remarketing campaigns of your website visitors only when you have already the conversion pixels and remarketing pixels set up on your website, which I showed you in the previous video how to do that. So that being said, let's jump into my laptop and I will show you how to set up a remarketing campaign in Google Ads. Okay, so we have logged into our Google Ads account here. Now, to set up a remarketing campaign, the first thing you do is you go to the campaign section here and then click on this create campaign. So it'll give you these options about the campaigns, and this particular campaign, remarketing campaign, we will set it for this particular real estate client, which is a real client with the real creatives and everything, to make you understand how it will work. And because I cannot put pixels on eToro website, so I cannot give you an example. So once you click on new campaign, it will give you these options. Like before, we will select create a campaign without a goal guidance, and then it will take you to what kind of campaign you want to create. Now, please understand that in terms of remarketing campaigns, you can create a display campaign as well as a YouTube or video campaign as well. But then in our case, we will just create display campaign. So some advertisers, some suggest that you should have both display and video campaigns as remarketing campaigns. Honestly, like if you don't have much budget, I would suggest go with display campaigns only. But if you have huge budgets, you can create two campaigns, one display and one video. So I will select display here. Now, once you select display, then it'll ask you which conversion goal do you want to create. For example, in my previous video, if you have watched about conversion pixels, we set up and we named it as submit lead. In this ad account, we create the name given to it is submit lead forms as well. So this is where it will appear. So this campaign, when this goes live, so whenever this submit lead form is triggered, which we implemented on website, this will count as a conversion. So we will know how many leads are actually filled from this particular campaign. Then we click on continue, straightforward till here. And then this is the web page people will go to after clicking your ad. I'll just go to our landing page. I'll copy it here. I'll paste it here. So I'll name it display remarketing campaign October 2022. And the next thing setting it'll ask you is where do you want to target? In our case, we want to target United Arab Emirates. And you know about the other options which we discussed in search campaign. So no point going through them again. And then it'll ask you which languages. I'll remove English. I'll target all languages in UAE because everyone speaks English, but I want the ads to appear even on Arabic websites or whatever. Then I will go to more settings. It's asking me how do I want to optimize, prefer best performing ads. So I'll leave it as that because we will upload multiple ads here, display ads. I want Google to always show the one which is performing better. And I want it to serve all day remarketing campaign because it'll only serve to people who have been to the website. So it makes sense. I'll show it on all devices. and nothing start date and end date. I'll leave start date, let's say 12th, which is today, and I'll end on 31st, let's say, if it's a 1 month campaign. Otherwise, it depends on the search campaign. If that's like always on, you can keep this always on without an end date as well. And then content exclusions is something you do not see in search campaigns, and it is only available for display campaigns and video. So what it primarily means is what kind of content you don't want your ads to appear on. For example, first let's go to sensitive content. If you check tragedy and conflict, sensitive social issues, profanity and rough language, your ads from this campaign will not show on websites which are categorized as sexually suggestive or any of these categories you check here. Then you can also exclude live streaming YouTube videos, embedded YouTube videos, spark domains in video. But what I would suggest is check all of them and not show ads there, because these websites, it's not brand safe. And live streaming YouTube video and all, people generally are busy in something else there. They don't want to be pestered with ads. And when it comes to content labels, it's you might have to read a bit about it on Google Help Center article. So click on here and you'll be able to check. But generally what it means is content is generally flagged as, so all the websites are flagged into certain category by Google. So it's asking you, so for example, content not yet labeled, let's say this one, mature audiences. So if Google has flagged some content as for mature audiences, if you select it, it will not appear there. So these are certain audiences. So generally you do teen and older audience. So generally people don't exclude these apart from these, but then it is good to know information. You can check the settings and understand what it means. And after this, I will go ahead and click on next. Now it's asking me daily budget for a test. I'll put 10 dirhams per day, and what do you want to focus on? Now in this case, because these people have already been to the website, so this campaign focus should always be conversions, because that's what we want. They already have been to the website. Now we want Google to optimize towards conversion. With the conversions, just use automatically maximize conversions, because you know that I always support the automatic bidding strategies. So automatically maximize conversions is the bidding strategy we'll use. But set a target cost per action is you can keep it like just so that we don't have crazy CPAs. But what generally I would recommend is whatever CPA you are getting in your search campaigns, check in your reports, whatever CPA you are getting, initially start with 3 times of that. For example, if your cost per acquisition CPA for search campaigns is 1 dirham, what I would suggest is initially keep it 3 dirhams here and then slowly start reducing it, and eventually you will have to probably reduce it until the CPA you get in search, or maybe lower than that. Wherever you keep it reducing it, whenever your retargeting campaign do not generate any conversions, then probably stop there and increase a bit, but start with 3 times initially. And pay for interactions and viewable impressions, just choose interactions and then click on next. So this, now we are in target section. So probably you are doing the display campaign for the first time. So on the left hand side, we chose the campaign settings, we chose the bidding and budget and bidding. Now we are in targeting section. So this section is where this becomes a retargeting campaign. Otherwise, if I skip this, it's just another display campaign. So this section is where I make it a retargeting campaign. I'll show you how. So I'll click on add targeting and I will directly go to audience segments here. Now in audience segments, you will directly see that whenever you implement the conversion pixel on your website, it will automatically show you these two audience automatically generated audiences. So this is what you have to select, which is all visitors. So once you select this audience group within your targeting, it means that you're telling Google that target this campaign to all the visitors of my website. Now, one thing very important to remember here is by checking this option, you are not only retargeting people who clicked on the search campaign and went to website. Anyone, even if somebody is directly going to your website, if somebody is coming from Facebook ads to your website, this will target everyone, and which is good in a way, because if you restrict it to only people who went through search campaign, it will not have a lot of results. So generally remarketing strategy target everyone who is going to your website, regardless how many times, regardless where they come from. Now, in certain cases, you will not see this option here. Once you click on targeting, it's pretty straightforward. Click on browse and you have this option here, how they interacted with your business, and then website visitors, and you will see here all website visitors here. But in anyways, so once you select this and you click on next, so by checking this option within targeting, that's where this campaign became a remarketing campaign. Okay, otherwise it's just another display campaign. So any campaign you create, if you target the website visitors, it becomes a remarketing campaign. Click on next. And now it will ask you, if you see here, we are done with targeting. Now the only thing we have to do is ads. Now ads is very important for retargeting, because as I mentioned before, this is very important because these people have already been to your website. So you know that they have shown interest before. If you just show them the same ad again, it doesn't make sense. Okay. Now to give you an example, for example, here, first you have two options. One is this dynamic ad or responsive ad. You just add images, you just add logos, you just add videos, headlines, descriptions, and Google will automatically create different kind of previews, native ads, banners, interstitials, and all that. But in some cases, if you do not have videos, if you do not have all these assets, and you just want to have your own static or HTML5 banners, in that case, this is straightforward. You add business name, images, videos, logos, whatever you have, headlines, descriptions. Google will automatically show you previews here. For example, you can check how my ad will appear on websites and apps, how my ad will appear on Google properties. Then you can choose YouTube, Gmail. It will show you, once you upload all these details here, it will show you how the previews, your ads will look like from this campaign. But in our case, we will go to upload display ads, because we already have display ads, and for this client we create our own ads, because Google sometimes will create their own videos from the assets on your website and all. So we do not rely on that, because our client is specific about how the ad should look like. So once you select this manual option, then you will have to upload. So for example, I'll go here, I have this ad here, I'll upload it. So this is something I wanted to show you. Now, for example, whenever you run retargeting campaigns, you have to make sure that you show something else to the user. You show them that it's personalized, or in this case, what we did is, for this client, whoever visited our website and did not convert, we created a retargeting campaign for them, and we showed them that we will give you 100% DLD waiver, which is like few thousand dirhams. Now, this was something which was personalized to the users, because understand that these people came to the website, but they were interested in this project, but they did not convert. So now we are telling them, you know what, we'll give you 10% or 100% DLD waiver, which is because they are looking for it. Probably they were researching with other real estate. It generally happens in real estate. So what they do is they reach out to multiple agents to see if somebody can give them a discount or something, because the project is same. They go through any agent, the prices are even same, for example, in Dubai, but the agents sometimes give them a discount. So for that, what we did is we created a retargeting campaign to give them a discount, because we know they are already interested, and we created this copy here. Now at this point, I really wanted to give a shout out to the company we are working with for this project, called Penji.com. So what they do generally is, I really like to work with them, and I really wanted to give a shout out to them based on how amazing work they do. This is not a paid or sponsored video. So what Penji generally does is, because I get a lot of emails as well, some people struggle with having in-house designers because it's expensive sometimes if you just run like few campaigns. So what Penji does is, they have a huge team of designers, graphic designers, etc. And you can opt for let's say a monthly plan, like two of our clients. So this SLS Properties works with them as well, because it's a real estate company. They don't want to have designers in-house. So you pay a monthly subscription, and you have like unlimited resources. So you primarily can chat with them, you get your account, and you can submit as many projects, design projects as you want, and there'll be always people working in for you, experienced designers. They hire like only experienced designers, and my experience with them is being good. So they have designers who understand your request, they understand all the paid media. So you tell them it's for Google Ads, they know the specs, they know everything. Just to show you an example of how remarketing campaigns should work and how A/B testing should be done. So this is one of the copies which Penji.com created for us, for our client. This was 100% DLD waiver. And at the same time, what they said is, okay, you know what? They created another variation of lifestyle. So this one is, for example, this one here is the project pictures. Now, they also created this, which is a lifestyle picture. Same project, but a lifestyle picture with a bit of green theme, and the text is same. But at the same time, what we did is to show you, this was giving an offer, right? Now we did one more experiment where we created another ad copy, which is this is kind of personalized, where we say, you know what, looks like you were in a rush, because the user, we know that he came to the website and did not convert. So the copy says, looks like you were in a rush, that, okay, you know what, we know that you visited our website, but you didn't leave your details then, so leave details now. So it looks very personalized. And this one was created with a little bit of animation, so it kind of helps to grab attention. But I don't know, I mean, we did this test, but this copy worked better, which is 100% DLD waiver. The green one performed better in this case. But this is just to show you like how you should customize your retargeting strategy with your customized messaging. Either it should be an offer you provide, either it should feel personalized, and all that stuff. So generally I will upload all these sizes here, and then click on create ad and click on next. So then it will ask you for the review, that this is the landing page, this is the campaign name, these are the settings, and this is the ad, and you click on publish campaign. Once you click on publish campaign, this campaign will become live. So after this, what you have to do is you just have to monitor this campaign and see how it starts gathering conversions, and slowly reduce the budget, the target CPA, which we mentioned 3 times, but you have to bring it down and see at what point it will stop delivering conversions and reducing the budget till there. So that was retargeting campaign. Once you click on publish, this campaign will go live. But before you go, I just wanted to give you some additional information about retargeting campaigns. We will discuss this in future videos, but at this point I just want to give you a heads up about some things you need to know about retargeting campaigns. The first thing is there is something called dynamic retargeting. So what it does is, let's say for example Amazon.com, they have millions of products on their website, so they cannot create a retargeting campaign for each product. Let's say I go to their website, I check a laptop, they cannot create a separate retargeting campaign for each product and show me the ad again. So what they do is they use something called dynamic retargeting, where they use kind of a template based on if a user has visited a product. You go to Facebook, you see an Amazon ad, or a website, or you go to another website, you see an Amazon ad, they will show you exactly that laptop. That's done using feeds, and it's called dynamic retargeting, which we will discuss later, but just wanted to give you a heads up if you come across this and you'll be like, we didn't discuss this in retargeting video. Then we have exclusion of converters. So if you are a website who have a lot of conversions going on, then you might have to consider something, because if there were, let's say, 1 million people who came to your website on a single day, and let's say 50,000 converted, and 950,000 did not convert. If you target retargeting campaigns to all the visitors, it will also show ads to the people who already converted, right? So what you can do is, there is a way which we will discuss later, that you can exclude. So you target everyone who visited the website and exclude people who already converted. And then you can also have a separate campaign for people who converted to upsell them. Let's say people who bought a laptop on your website, you can create a dedicated campaign for them to show them headphone, laptop sleeve campaigns and stuff like that. And the one more thing I wanted to mention is retargeting cannot be just done based on people who visited your website and through pixels. You also can do retargeting campaigns if you have, let's say, a list of emails or list of phone numbers who you already know that these guys purchased from your CRM or from your shop. You collect these email addresses and phone numbers. You can create a retargeting campaign to them as well. It will still be called retargeting because you are targeting your people who are kind of converted. That we will discuss probably later in this course as well. But that's all for retargeting. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next one.